Good afternoon and welcome back to Planet Doug. It's about 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, I'm guessing. I've lost all track of days and I'm not even going to bother to look at my phone to confirm. And just to catch you up before I start off on my local small adventures, I'm still in Kuala Lumpur. I'm still in the Chow Kit neighborhood and I'm still staying here. This is the Crossroads Hotel and it is right across the road from the monorail station. That's it over there. That's the Chow Kit monorail station. So it's very convenient from that point of view. And since I've been in Kuala Lumpur, I've been very busy with life errands. There was getting my passport renewed. Then there was the Merdeka celebrations. And I had all kinds of video to edit. So today is almost the first day that I'm coming out of my bubble. Like I'm sort of waking up from a daze of video editing to look around me and see where I am and start exploring the Chow Kit neighborhood to an extent. So this is like midday. This place really wakes up at night. A lot of people here. So many food places open up alongside this road, and there's markets over here. So over the next couple of days, I plan on exploring a lot of that. But right now, I'm going to do something a little bit unusual, very interesting to me, is explore this building right here. Every time I came outside of my hotel, you know, the theme of Planet Doug is always look up. So when you're walking down this street, your eyes tend to be on street level. You see the bananas, you see this, you see that. But then I always look up. So I stopped at the side of the road and I started looking up, and that's what I saw. Like that incredible building. All those balconies, all the clothing on the outside of drying on those balconies. And every time I've come outside, I just can't help but stop and look up at that thing, taking pictures of it. Yeah, here I am, kind of in the shade, so maybe we get a better view. But every time I look at one of those buildings, I think about everything going on inside. All of the hundreds of people that live in there, all the lives going on, all the drama. You could base 100 novels probably on the story of this building. And a friend of mine from Australia, Jason, he's in town right now. And he's like me, maybe even he's more like me than I am, that he's fascinated by these old buildings and he's made a habit of going into them. So Jason and I were out here last night at about, I don't know what time it was, 8:30, 9 o'clock or something. And we were standing on the sidewalk looking at that building and talking about it. And then on impulse, the two of us just went into the entrance and then started walking up the stairs. And we walked all the way to the top of the building, exploring every floor as we went up, just checking the place out. And I took a whole bunch of pictures. Maybe I'll throw up a few of the pictures right now so you can see some of the atmosphere that Jason and I were experiencing as we were climbing up like 13 floors, I think. It's a 13-story building. There's no elevator, like there is an elevator, but it stopped working many, many years ago. So it's quite an atmospheric time to go walking around that building, as you can see from those photos. And I really wish I had taken video last night because that was our first introduction to the building. But I didn't have any cameras with me, so I just took a few pictures. And now that it's daytime, I'm going to go back into that building and walk up to the top again and just show you what the place looks like. This is where we were standing last night. And as we were just looking at the building, we saw a large number of rats like running back and forth on all these different levels. The rats have figured out how to get from apartment to apartment on these outer ledges and then dashing in through these air conditioners, any opening in the wall. It was quite something to see. I was wondering, is that the same rat? Because we kept seeing this rat, but it turned out, of course, there were lots of different rats. And then we saw the front door. Like we were wondering, like, how do you get into this building? And then we saw this entrance here, and I guess that is the entrance to the building. And when you look on Google Maps, this is the name that you see for the building, Wisma Hock and it says on Google Maps, like student housing is what it's called on Google Maps. But that doesn't translate as student housing, I don't think. But yeah, I think that's the name of the building. And then right out of the gate, I found this entryway fascinating. All the mailboxes here, some of them have locks, and it makes me wonder how many of these apartments are occupied and how many aren't. Yeah, those two both have mail in them. I'm surprised. And then we spotted this on the way out. This is part of the mailbox, but it looks like it caught on fire at some point. Whether deliberately set on fire or who knows. But yeah, Jason was telling me that. Go ahead. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good.
Glad to meet you.
You too. Yeah, when Jason was in he was in Vietnam for 2 months last year, and again, he has such an interest in buildings like this that he went into a building in Ho Chi Minh City and then just walked up.
Again,
Yep, of course.
Thank you.
No problem. And he went from floor to floor, and then he just found rooms for rent. And he actually moved into a room in one of these buildings just to have the experience. And you can see these signs here, you know, room for rent, room to let. And I think if you ask around and you wanted to sort of hang out with this community, you could probably rent a room up here. But yeah, it looks very different during the day. Like I said, we came here at night and this was all dark. There was a real odor in the air last night. And then we came back to this alleyway. And again, it doesn't look the same. But when we came out here last night, it was just like pitch black. And it looked like the alleyway of death, right? It was like, walk down there if you would like to be mugged. Please come this way to be robbed. That's really what it looked like at night. Now it actually looks very different. It looks quite inviting, just a typical back alley. But like I said last night, it really looked sketchy. It's like, don't go down this alleyway. That's what it felt like. So this is the back side of the building. Couldn't see this last night very clearly because it was dark. But again, I wonder how many of these apartments are occupied. On this side, it looks like more. Like I see more clothing on the outside than on the other side. Because when we went in and climbing up, it felt like maybe 50% occupancy. There were so many places that looked utterly abandoned. But yeah, so this is the neighborhood here. Chow Kit is an older part of Kuala Lumpur, of course. And this building, I don't know how old it is. I don't know the history. I couldn't tell you what it was like when it first opened, who owns it, who lives here now. It's all very mysterious. But let's start walking up the stairs. Yeah, it's quite fascinating.
Okay, boss.
Yep, going up.
How you do what?
This is
commentary?
just YouTube travel video.
This building empty.
Yeah, this building interesting.
You ask people for this building story?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh.
a little bit. That's
What
my YouTube.
Baik. Mangga. Oh, tak apa.
My channel there.
Oh,
Planet
this
Doug.
is your channel?
Yeah, QR code to go to my channel.
You make content, what type?
Mainly traveling,
Oh,
just travel videos.
You have traveled, go where?
A lot in Malaysia, Sumatra,
Sumatra.
like Indonesia.
My village Sumatra.
Oh yeah, you're from
Padang,
Sumatra.
Minang. Pandai cakap Padang.
Padang, yeah, I know Padang. I went to
You
Padang.
Speak Indonesia okay? Can?
Saya tidak bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia.
Itu bahasa Indonesia?
No.
Bahasa Indonesia macam Malaysia juga.
Saya bisa bicara bahasa Inggris.
Bahasa Inggris itu
Yeah.
pandai cakap. bahasa.
Siddiqui.
Boleh tapi faham lah.
Yeah. On my channel, there's many videos
I follow.
from Padang.
Wah, padang
Many videos from Padang. Yeah, beautiful city.
Lu saya mau saleh. Boleh. Saya mau boleh.
Bule.
Sorry,
I know that word.
Boleh.
Yeah,
Indonesia.
yeah.
My family Indonesia, but I born here.
Oh, you were okay. Where do you live?
Gombak.
Gomba?
You want to travel nice place? You find taxi or person can guide you. Go to Batu 12.
Okay. In Malaysia?
In here, KL.
Oh.
You order Grab.
Okay. Do you live in this building? No.
No, I'm my friend house. You go.
What is your job in Malaysia?
My job. I go to house or farm.
Farm?
Mango.
Oh.
Mango. Rojak.
Mhm, oh yeah, I know
mangga
rojak.
mangga muda rojak. I buy, I sell at Chow Kit pasar.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to go up.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too. My name is Budi.
Buli.
Budi, no
Budi.
Your name?
Douglas.
Douglas,
Douglas.
no?
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like Michael Douglas.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Kau sama mesti dia kau gak gelak. Kau gelak kan aku. Pantik.
So I guess this is the first floor. Technically, that was the ground. And as you can see, it has this is the first thing we saw last night. It's like, oh, elevator. But obviously, nothing is working here anymore. And I think on this floor, yeah, this was amazing when I saw this. I wasn't expecting this at all. Like an interior courtyard. Open to the outside world. Look at that. I was saying to Jason that I instantly started thinking about famous Chungking mansions in Hong Kong. Buildings like this that have openings in the middle, or two buildings right beside each other with an open space like this in the middle. Yeah. And then these are all, of course, all the balconies going around every single floor. You've got that epic sound, or the classic sound of dripping water coming down from way up there in a building like this. Yeah, I have a feeling like since yesterday they did a cleanup. I kind of remember, maybe it was on the other side, but I thought there was like piles of garbage here. But maybe it's a regular garbage pickup. They come take it away. Or maybe it was all on the other side. Yeah, maybe it was this side I was thinking of. Because you can imagine with all of the age of this building and people moving in and out, and it's obviously a lower income building. And maybe garbage gets thrown from up there from time to time if somebody's feeling a little bit lazy. So you end up with something like this, a bit of a garbage pile down here. So no, they didn't clean it up. I thought maybe since Jason and I were here last night and a lot of people saw us exploring, and then maybe I thought, oh, they decided to clean up. But yeah, very dramatic sight to be down here, let me tell you. More so last night in the dark, but there's enough drama to go around to be interesting even during the daytime. And there's prayer halls right here, like surau, right up ahead there on a lot of the different floors. And one thing both Jason and I noticed were the number of cats, which kind of makes sense because a building like this would have a lot of mice and the rats that we saw, and keep them under control. It's nice to have a lot of cats. And we saw quite a few of them last night, like patrolling. They looked to be like cats on the hunt. And every time we stopped to look around, we would see a cat just marching there. And it was dark with lights, and the cat's shadow would be against the wall, like a stealthy hunter walking along. And then we'd see it a little bit later going back along that floor. Yeah, it's quite something. Yeah, lots of cats here. They're probably, they're a little bit nocturnal, I guess, aren't they? Cats. Hello.
Hi.
And so may not see the same number of cats today during the daytime. They're all resting, waiting until they can go off hunting again tonight. In some areas, we noticed there's like a gate here, like keeping this part private. So it looks like for security, they can lock this gate, whoever lives down there. Yeah, there's more people around now, because when Jason and I were here, we saw very few people. When we were up on one of the higher floors, like Jason was asking me, just wondering aloud, like, where do you think the elevator is? Like it stopped running, but on what floor was its final trip?
15 years no lift.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so tired. Woo.
No lift. And then we came down here on the third floor, and there's the elevator. So like that's the inside door of the elevator. So this is where it came to rest. Its final trip was to the third floor, and it hasn't moved since. So all the people in this building, even like up on the 13th floor, they walk all the way up and all the way down. And again, at night, it was a little bit freaky because we'd be like, like leaning over the barrier to get a good look around, and then you lean against this, and then the whole thing, it's like, it starts to move because it's not attached over there anymore, and all the bars are missing. So you got to be careful as you move around here. But again and again, I would lean against the barrier to kind of look around, and then the whole thing would start to sway. Give me a little moment of panic. And of course, while Jason and I were walking around here, we were speculating, I certainly was internally anyway, about who lives here. And we did see a large group of young men come in all at once. It was suddenly they all came pouring up the stairs, all young men. They looked to be Indonesian, from another country, and they were all wearing pristine uniforms. And I couldn't read them, but Jason picked up on it. They were Marriott hotel uniforms. So they're staff members at Marriott. And then this is where they live, here in this building. Which again, I find kind of fascinating, because in life, you meet so many people out in the world as you're going about your day, and every single person you meet has a home that they go to at the end of the day, and you always wonder about the lives of the people you see. Where do they go at the end of the workday? Where do they live? Particularly, migrant workers. I have kind of an interest in people like migrant workers and refugees, people like that. And all of them live somewhere, and you always wonder. And yet, and some of the people, this is where they live. It's what they call home. And Jason and I were doing Google Translate on all the signs. I'm always interested in what signs say. And a lot of these, they kind of say the things you would expect them to say. I think this one was all about the water, that people were not paying their water bills, so don't be surprised if the water stops running, like stay on top of those bills, people, or the water gets turned off. And a big, like a giant communal building like this is a little bit like being a backpacker and living in a hostel, where your behavior affects everybody around you. So of course, over the years, people start putting up signs telling people what to do and not do. So a lot of the signs here were very familiar from my days staying in hostels, where it says, like particularly right here, like on this wall beside the elevator, people pile garbage there. And of course that causes trouble. So you end up with all kinds of, like people put up notices saying, this is not a place to put the garbage. Please keep it clean. Please, you know, respect others, etc. Yeah, you see that in hostels all the time. Pleading with people to do their dishes. Don't just pile them in the sink. Pleading with people not to slam the door, not to leave the lights on all night. And of course, most people ignore the signs. So. I think I remember what this sign said. It was quite funny. I did the translation on it, and I think it says, warning that there are some gangs that have been breaking into the apartments. And it's saying, you know, if you see people who don't belong, who are just hanging out, looking suspicious, call the police. And of course, Jason and I fit the description perfectly. You know, we don't belong here, we don't live here, and we're just sort of hanging out, wandering around, taking pictures. It's like, felt like that notice was aimed at me, like I was casing the joint for a future robbery or something. This is different. Questions, right? These red bottles filled with red liquid. There's a whole bunch of them here. What could that possibly be about? No idea. This is the next floor up, and there's bottles here, and it's right beside a broom. So I'm thinking it must be some sort of a liquid soap, like a diluted soap. And people can sprinkle it on the floor and then scrub it, maybe? There's nothing else I can think of that it could be. Yeah, it looks like there used to be a lot of gates, like privacy security gates. There's a one right there, but the gate itself rusted away. It just doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, definite sense of vertigo here. The higher you climb, looking down and looking up. As happens, some of the apartments have spilled over into the balcony area. Maybe somebody moved out and piled all this stuff here, or they just ran out of room. Oh, look at all those shoes. A lot of people live here. There's an interior stairwell here as well, but it doesn't really, you just end up at locked doors. They're all welded shut with padlocks on them. But yeah, they're pretty dangerous and pretty nasty, these ones. Yeah, it's so dark you can't even see anything, but I'm slowly making my way up. I don't know what floor I'm on, only 6, maybe 5 or 6. But yeah, I remember this floor. Whoever lives here ignored the no piling up of garbage. This looks like it might have been part of a renovation or something. Maybe it's full of cement where they tore down some walls. I don't know. And a hallmark of buildings like this is always the old mattresses that just get left out. Mattresses are very hard to get rid of. You can't take them to 7-Eleven and just throw them in the garbage can at 7-Eleven. So how do you get rid of them? Yeah, that's where I just was a minute ago with all that stuff. The door was open for their apartment. I could see inside, and it was really very much like a hoarder situation in there. There's so much stuff. So that everything just spilled out outside. Yeesh. Looking straight down. We're getting closer to the top. Let's see if there's anything interesting over here. Oh. Hello. Oh yeah, cool. Thank you. Looks like somebody's welding over there. I hope either that or the building is catching on fire. Oh yeah, they're working. Yeah, I have no idea what the water situation is in the building overall. I think I saw a man there at the end of the hallway. He looked to be taking a shower out in the hallway. Yeah, here's one of the no garbage signs, or 2 or 3 of them actually. Ini tempat tinggal kita bukan. It's kind of like a no statement. Anytime you see bukan, it just means like a negative sampah, garbage. So no garbage basically, because they would just pile it up here. And I was a little bit confused about this one. It said Superman Sakit, but they seem to be looking for a new cleaning man, like a maintenance and janitorial staff. But maybe I was laughing. They need Superman to take care of a building this size and this old, you know. Yeah, and this is some of the area that I thought, wow, there's no way people are living here. And I keep thinking these apartments must be empty. And yet, I don't know, the longer you hang around here, the more people you see going in and out. There weren't many last night, but I hear a lot of voices. And I smell a lot of food, like cooking. So there's a lot of frying food and cooking going on in all these apartments. So there's a lot more people living in this building than you might think. But after we saw all of those guys in the Marriott uniforms, Jason wondered, as did I, like how many of them live together in one apartment. Seemed to be a pretty tight-knit group. I didn't count all of them, but there were quite a few. But it wouldn't surprise me to find out that they all share one of these apartments. And obviously, yeah, it would be cheaper. Rent in a building like this, I can't imagine that it's very high. Yeah, this was quite the still life here. I was wondering about this when I saw it last night. It was almost like, for safety reasons, they put a door in front of the elevator door so nobody, like children, wouldn't pry it open and fall into the elevator shaft. That was my first idea. But they just probably piled it here because they piled it here, nothing to do with the elevator. But yeah, the mattresses, like I said, yeah, they're just impossible to get rid of. Once you get a mattress in your life, they're very hard to get out of your life. It's almost like a long-term committed relationship. And, oh, wow, what a feeling. Because it's dark down below, and we got this high, and now it's like we're emerging from a cave back into the light almost. There's one of the kitty cats. Hey there, cat. Yeah. There's probably a number of things that fall into that category of long-term relationships that you just cannot, there's no way to end it, like with mattresses, and then you're going to find appliances too. I'm surprised there aren't more appliances out here, like washing machines and dishwashers and things that just broke down and you can't get rid of it, so you just leave it out in the hallway. I was thinking of that because, yeah, we got a toilet right here. Like if you rip a toilet out of your apartment, like, then what do you do with it? How do you get it out of the building? This building across here is, at the base, it's a fire station in Bomba. And then I heard a call to prayer. So I think there's a mosque in there as well. It's a much newer building, obviously. You can see it's very clean. Oh, everything painted red. Yeah, there's a bit of light here, so you can see what I'm talking about with these stairways here. But yeah, there's like, they're blocked at every level. Look at that. I got like a kind of, again, it kind of makes you think of a zombie apocalypse, that people were chased up here by the zombies and they put barriers to keep the zombies at bay. And yeah. On one of the floors, I think it might be one floor above us, there seemed to be a bunch of cats in cages. I only saw them from a distance, but you got that powerful ammonia smell from cat urine, cat litter. But hopefully those cats aren't in those cages 24 hours a day. Hopefully they set them free to go catch rats and mice at night. Oh, there's a cat up ahead, I think. Oh, a whole bunch. There's a cat and a kitten. Oh yeah, that looks like the mother cat. Hey, kitty. Oh, gonna come say hello. Oh, you're so skinny. Oh, and it's purring like crazy. Man, you need some food. Buddy, you're so thin. You're all bones. I wonder why. This one, a bit older, but it looks healthy, relatively well fed. How come you're not getting any food, buddy? Eh? And there's this little kitty. Yeah, you can see how thin it is. Oh, you're very nice. You're very friendly, kitten. Yeah, still purring up a storm. Yeah. Continuing up, almost at the top. Last night in the dark, it felt much higher. 13th floor. Okay, this maybe there's 14. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's higher than 13. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I remember this now. It struck me to see all these plants, potted plants, kind of. Making a little garden here. It was very nice to see. Oh yeah, 14 floors, I guess. And then the ground floor, so total of 15. There we are, 14. So 15 in total, including the ground floor. Yeah, this is what made me think of the appliances. This is the only one I saw in the whole building, a washer. But again, you'd think thered be a lot more of them, because once that dies, yeah, what do you do with it? How would you ever get rid of it? Oh, there's another cat. I don't remember seeing that one. It might have been over here that I saw the cat cages, like in the stairwell. But it was so dark and kind of spooky down here. their dumping ground for old, yeah, an old sink, old TV, I think. Yeah, here are the cats in cages. I'll just go down here just a little bit, take a closer look. Yeah, okay. Hello there, kitty. There's a lot of litter boxes here. I only see the one cat though, that kind of makes me happy. I was worried that there's going to be like 20 starving cats jammed into these cages, but I only see one. Hey there. And then maybe even that cat gets let out at night to run around. I hope so. Hope you have a family there, kitty cat. And then here, I was wondering whether we could, oh, hello there. It's okay, don't worry about it. I was wondering whether we could go to the roof, but I think up here, yeah, it was welded shut. Well, not welded, it looks like there's just 2 padlocks, so you can't go out onto the roof at all. Emerged into the light, the sunlight. And on this side, on the 14th floor, you get an amazing view of the city. Like last night anyway, it struck me as amazing because it was pitch black. I mean, it was dark in here. And then on this side of the building, it opens up to the outside world. And through the cement brickwork, through all those little holes, you could see the city out there all lit up. Quite something to see. So it won't be quite as impressive now in the daytime. It'll just sort of look ordinary. But last night, this really had a dramatic quality. Looking out here, because all of those buildings out there, and they were all lit up. And it was like a mini viewing screen. Like every one of these squares was like a little portal out there into the light. And right across the road there, do you see that yellow and brown building? That's the Biomedical Museum. I went there, shot a video there when last time I was in Malaysia. Yeah, my hotel is right across the road from the Biomedical Museum, which is kind of cool. There's some of Kuala Lumpur, my Chow Kit neighborhood. Oh yeah, we're overlooking, can't quite get an angle on it, but there's the Chow Kit monorail station. Ooh, this is spooky. Oh my gosh. That looks like a garbage disposal chute, right? Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah. What in the world is down there, you wonder? I'm surprised the door is open. Maybe it's actually used. Maybe down at the bottom, there's an actual garbage room that they allow to fill up and then they shovel it all out. Could be the actual garbage disposal system for the building. And you wonder how anything keeps running. But it does. People have electricity. People seem to have water. I was thinking of that just because I saw this open fuse box and some wires going down to this switching box. And which again then feeds into there. So somehow or other this is doing something. It's delivering power to the building in some fashion. But yeah, let's go. Ooh, don't think we can get through there. Yeah, I want to see through the brickwork on the other side. I think that's where we were last night. We weren't on this side. Oh, this is interesting. There's actually an apartment here that's empty. And the windows are open so you can see inside. But yeah, it's been cleared out. I think the one beside it is the same. Yeah, this one has been abandoned. Some books, a lot of debris over there, just some garbage. I'm sure there's some very happy rats and mice living in there. come out at night to go foraging and try to not be hunted by the cats. Yeah, over here there's another opening. In the dark, Jason and I, we could not figure out what that was. It was just a scary shape in the dark. And, you know, I almost reached out with my foot to touch it but I thought that could be a sleeping dog or something. We could not figure out what it was. I guessed it had to be a pillow, but in the dark, I couldn't actually decide what it was. But yeah, just a pillow. In the dark, a scary pillow. But, yeah, so here's the other brickwork where you can look out and see the city through all these little holes. And each one basically shows you a different tiny square of the city. Very cool.
Oh, a dog.
Whoa. I heard a voice, but I don't know where the voice came from. Must have been through this window. That was kind of spooky. I wonder if that voice was captured on my camera microphone, or was it all just in my head? Could have sworn I heard someone calling out to me, and I thought they said, honestly, I thought they said, "You will die." That's what I heard the voice say. That is crazy. I'll have to listen back to the audio on this video track. Man, look at that. Looking straight down. Yeah, come here in the dark, you can talk yourself into all kinds of like horror movie conventions. And yet in reality, it's just a community. It's just a bunch of people living together. Probably like any other building, some people a bit crazier than others. A lot of just regular people. Yeah, this one is also abandoned. He said it looks abandoned. I hope nobody's living in here. Time to start heading down. 14th floor, as you can see on the wall behind me. I don't know why I'm talking so quietly. I feel like I'm in a temple or a church. Maybe it is really quiet right now. And I've noticed a lot of people will hear my voice as I walk by, and then I hear doors and windows suddenly slamming open and close. You're like, what is going on? They hear an English-speaking voice in their building, and everybody's quite puzzled. So I started lowering my voice a little bit. On the 7th floor now, slowly making my way down. And it just occurred to me that if American movies are to be believed, like in any big city in the US, if you found a building like this one and then you went into the building, according to movies, you wouldn't come out alive, right? You would be robbed, murdered, all sorts of terrible things would happen to you. But here in Malaysia, there's really no concerns about anything like that. Yeah, if I were in Chicago, I suppose I saw a building like this, I wouldn't go into it. I wouldn't think it was safe, but here I don't have any worries like that. And at every stairwell, you get these little squares too. Jason was commenting that these are almost like the little slits that you would have in a prison cell, and that little slit there might be your only connection with the outside world. You know, that would be all you could see out your prison door or prison window or something. But luckily here, you got lots of them, and you can go down to the door and leave the building. Yeah, Jason, he's out walking around Kuala Lumpur right now. He goes out every day and goes out at night, and he'll come back, and he's walked something like 29 kilometers in a single day. So yeah, I think right now he walked practically all the way to Batu Caves. That's where he is right now as I'm recording this. And he's probably going to walk all the way from Batu Caves back to Chow Kit. So if anyone ever gets the idea that I walk a lot, not compared to true walkers like my friends Jason and Jamie from the United States, yeah, he's coming back to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur this month as well, like later in September. And he's a walker. And Jason, he's a walker. Yeah, they put me to shame. And here we are, back down at ground level. This is where we started. So yeah, I was thinking, Jason was looking at the ceiling, wondering whether that was like smoke, like from a fire that was here. Like soot from this fire, I don't know. Yeah, back out in the real world. There's the Hotel Seeds. And that other building I was talking about that I could see from inside is this one here, the red one. So it's a fire station down at the bottom. And then the red building right up there, as you can tell, it's a much newer building. Yeah, let's stop here just for a minute. You take another look at the outside of that crazy building. What a place. Really fascinating to go in there, as I said, and think about the lives of going on. Migrant workers, students, older men seem to be living alone. A lower income building, but yeah, and the longer you stand here, you'll see more and more people on the balcony. You don't, because they're sitting there just looking down at the street below them, and you don't spot them for a long time unless they move, and then you suddenly see, oh, there's somebody, oh, there's somebody hiding in the middle of all that laundry drying. Ah, my gosh, there's one balcony right there, jammed with debris, just piled right to the roof. That's crazy. Huh. And just for context, that's my hotel right there. The brown and white building on the corner, that's the Crossroads. And yeah, it's not that far away from this building here.